Hey Wes here, thanks for joining me today. I hope you are doing well. I'm having a very good day. I am in the mountains of New Mexico and you can hear a river behind me. I'll show it to you here in a little bit. And I have another project in mind, and I don't know if anyone has ever done this before, but I want to make some pine sap glue and use it to repair pottery. Got some pots that I kind of like, but they're broken or cracked, and I think that pine sap might work pretty good. Pine sap has been used as a glue for lots of things. You could fix an arrowhead to an arrow or a knife blade to a handle. You can seal up birch bark canoes, or even they have used it to seal up a basket so that it is waterproof. It's very sticky and very effective. So I have a few things I need to do. First of all, I have to find some pine sap and harvest it. Then I need to process it, turn it into glue, and then ultimately use that glue to fix the pot. So I'm curious to see what is going to happen. No guarantees for sure here, but let's get started. Here is the river. It is beautiful. You can see some people fishing down there, and it's pretty popular. I don't know if you can, she just waved at us. And the background noise is wonderful. It's just so relaxing and peaceful. This is the kind of day I need. So here's a tree that has clearly been wounded, and it's just been weeping all of this sap. So this could all be collected to make glue. Here is my collection of pine sap. So there's a variety of different kinds of pieces here, and I understand there's kind of different views about what is the best kind. These pieces are the oldest. They're very lightweight. And generally speaking, I hear that these are the best. This is newer. None of these are all sticky, and so I think all of it will work. So what I'm going to do is take this outside and cook down some of this over a charcoal fire. I have a charcoal fire going here, and then all my little pieces of pitch are in a bowl. I know the goal here is to let it heat up slowly. You don't want to let it get too hot. You don't want it to boil, and you definitely don't want it to light on fire. This stuff is extremely flammable, so be forewarned with that. Besides the pine tar, you need a temper, and one thing that's commonly put in is char. This is charcoal. It's the carbon part. Sometimes people will put in organic matter, dried dung from animals like from deer, rabbits, moose, stuff like that. And in some cases, people will add in some fat as well if you're concerned that it's going to be brittle. But in my case, I just want it to be real thin and sticky because I'm going to mend pottery with it. So this all needs to be crushed down as fine as I can get it. I would say that is good enough for what I need to do. Once the pitch is melted down, then I can mix the two together. It really doesn't take that much heat to get this melting. And so you just stir it so it kind of evenly heats up. Now the goal, this is the charcoal, and what I've seen is roughly 1/3 charcoal to 2/3 sap, but it's going to vary depending on the situation. I'll probably have to heat this up again. I'm going to use my heat gun. Hopefully that'll make it go a little quicker. So this is still a little bit warm. It's kind of pliable, but it's getting firm quickly. But it's soft enough I can kind of get a fingernail into it a little bit. It turns out that my glue got really hard and brittle, so I don't think that's going to work. It needs some more temper in it. So I talked to someone who knows more than I do. They said their recipe is 50% pine sap, 25% charcoal, and then 25% fiber of some kind. In this case, I've got sheep dung, but you could use rabbit pellets or you could use sawdust as well. So I'm going to grind this up and remelt the glue and see if I can get it so it's a little bit more flexible. Well, I have my heat gun and I have some sheep dung. So I'm going to see if I can heat this up and mix it in and get a better product. But it's still quite hard, but I think I'm going to try and use it just the way it is. This is the pot that I want to fix. I fired this in coal and it didn't work out. It got a crack, and so I've actually pulled it apart. And I really like this pot, except that it's kind of broken. And so I want to see if I can fix it. Now, typically with Southwest pottery, ancient pottery, if someone was going to fix the pot, they would do it in such a way that that repair was almost unnoticeable. They wouldn't want those cracks to show. And in fact, if there was missing pieces of pottery, they would fill that in with plaster and repaint it. I am not going to do that. I am going to use the Japanese art of Kintsugi, or at least a variant of that. And what that does is it actually celebrates the crack. It recognizes that that crack is part of the history of the pot. And so let's focus on that. Rather than hide it, let's just celebrate it. And so that's my plan, is to use this pine sap glue to fix it. So we'll absolutely see the crack when this is all said and done. So let's go ahead and get started here, and I'll show you what my plan is. I have been working on using this pine sap as glue, and it is a bit of a challenge. It's a whole new skill set, I guess. It actually works pretty good once you get it done. It's very sturdy. What I am going to do is unthinkable normally, but with Kintsugi, I want to show the crack, and so I'm actually going to use some sandpaper to widen the crack, make sure that I don't have anything that will kind of catch up on putting the two pieces together. I want them to line well, but I'm actually going to widen this crack a little bit so I have a place for the glue to go. So you can see there is a gap there. I might make that even a little bit bigger. I have my pine sap heating up over here on a hot plate. It needs to be warm in order for this to work. I've also found that you need to heat the pottery up. If it's kind of cool, once the pine sap hits, it just solidifies. So you need to try to keep it a little bit soft so it will stick to the pottery. So I use my heat gun for that. My general goal is to get little bits of glue all along the edge on both pieces, then heat the whole thing up and hopefully stick it together. It's just too big of a crack to do all in one go. This is a bit of a slow process, but I think it's important to just take my time. I've put glue on one half of the bowl, and then I need to do the same on the other side, then heat the whole thing up and stick it together. I have both sides all glued up. Now the goal is to get the two stuck together. The thing is that the whole thing has to be warm and melted glue in order for that to happen. So I'm just holding it in place until it stiffens up. So the plan now is to heat areas with my little gun here and then add the glue on. So I've filled the glue in on the crack on the back, and that's gone okay. It's messy. It's really hard to control this stuff, but I've experimented some here with shaving off the extra stuff, and it's going okay. I think it's still going to stain the pot some. We'll just see what that's like. Now I'll do the other side. Some have already come through on here, which is fine actually, and filled in kind of a bigger crack. And then I'll fill this part in here as well and see how that goes. It seems to work pretty good to use a little X-Acto knife. And the glue is really quite brittle. It seems to clean up all right. Here it is in all its glory. And you know what? I think it turned out okay. I'm okay with it. And you know, I really love the idea that this was a broken pot that easily could have ended up in the garbage, but instead it was repaired. And I showed that you can repair these pots with glue that you make from pine pitch. In fact, maybe this was done hundreds of years ago. I don't know, but certainly Native Americans understood how to use pine pitch glue for a variety of different things, and maybe use it for this. But now this is a functional pot again. It can be used, and it has a history. And that's part of this, is that we are celebrating the fact that it has a history, that it has done things, it has been somewhere, and it can continue to do things and go places as well. So it's kind of like when we get injured and we have a cut and it turns into a scar. It's just kind of part of our history as well, and something to, I think, be celebrated. So I feel good about this. I really do. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I certainly appreciate you being here. And if you like it, please give that thumbs up, subscriptions, and if you leave a comment, I will do my best to respond. So thanks for joining me on this little Kintsugi adventure. Until next time, wish you health, happiness, peace, and love. Take care. Bye-bye.